In this video, we start working on our first project. We're going to build a patch of the grass inside the plant factory. And after we'll take this plant and export inside the view so we can see how it's actually work. In previous videos, we overview the interface. And if for some reason you miss, I will recommend you to go check those videos. I'll put link down below for you for that video. In our interface, we can see we have the basic nodes on our side, and we have a preview on our right side, and properties that we're going to modify just below this. So this is default screen. If for some reason yours look different, and different I don't mean some of the sections maybe a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. What I was meaning, maybe screens look different and you want to go to default view, it's what you see right here, then I'll recommend go to File, Options, and in General Option, just click Reset Options to Default. This will help you to kind of back to the original look. Okay, so let's see what we have. And you can notice we have our basic nodes, age, root, season, and health. In this video, we won't do anything with age, season, and health. This is for a little bit more advanced topic, but we will using root, and it's a basic how our plant reside. We're also going to use all these different nodes. Let's look first what we have here. And we have our simple node. If we connect to the root, you'll notice we'll start having this kind of growing, I don't know what we can call this, a stick or something like this. And we can convert this easy to the grass kind of leaf, but I think we need to do something more from this. But you know what? Let's go first create a what I call stem or one of the leaf or blade. There you go, blade. Let's go create one blade of the grass from this so we know how it's work. And we'll go select our the node, and if we look right here, you can see we have our properties in the segment. We want to switch this to advanced segment. So down below it says switch to advanced segment. Click on this and it will change and provide for us much more properties. The one what I was looking at is, let's look on a size. And if you notice down where it says segment, we have a link of the 10. This is actually going in the meters. This is 10 meters. It's maybe a little bit too big, and I want to decrease size for this. So we're going to change. Let's again select this. We'll go down, and let's put it to 1. So this is about, I think, 1 meter. It's what we're going to use. Next, we want to reduce radius. Currently, it says inherited, and we can keep it inherited radius because it will depend on how we attach, and because it's just one blade, we may change with this slightly. So you know what, for now let's go to user define, and we'll just go shrink this down. Notice I'm shrinking this and it becomes smaller and smaller, so we can actually change it. And I think for now it's fine. We'll just leave it around this size, or we can just type 0.1. okay, let's look a little bit closer because we did something change in this windows, but I want to show a little bit more on the properties how it's work. Let's look on the link. First, it's kind of understandable. This is just value that we can put, but next to this you can see it's have plus, minus, and it says 0. Plus and minus, it says variation. The one nice things about the plants, when we create here and we create them properly, we can say I want this variation on the plant. So it's mean we're creating species, yes, and when we create each new instance of the species, then with this plus and minus we can add variations for the species. So for example, if I'm going here and I type 0.5, this has mean every different variations of this can be or shorter by 5 points or higher, no 1.5, or between this. So this is says like minimum and maximum add to those variation. So it could be 0.5, it's going to be 0.6, 7, 8, and go up to 1.5. So it can be in any of this range. It's kind of cool about this. If you want it, you can also try to randomize. If you go on a root, and right here you can see in setup, you can actually click random and you can see how it's changed. You see it's going up and down. What it does, it's using different seed, and based on this value that we just modified right here, plus and minus, it's affecting this. So next to this, we have the filters, and this is filters will affect how the properties will apply to what we change during the from 0 to 1 or whatever, from 1 to 0 will affect during all this range of values. Example, let's go right here. We have it radius, yes, and we'll just go click one. And by the way, green and other ones, it's one inherited and one is based on the object. So it's meaning this value of going from inheritance, this affect them. But if we select one directly on this value, and right here you can see the graph. Notice I can change, yes, value of this. So what's happening if I bring this down? Notice how it's now become like almost needle. So it's meaning this value on the end, on the top one of this, it's now almost 0. So it's very pointy. And this side we did not change. Of course, we can modify, we can bring a little bit more thicker like this. And for example, if I double click, I can add point, and look what's happening if I do this way. You see it's kind of trapezoid on the middle. So this way you can play around and create quite a bit interesting. You also can modify these points if you need it. You can set them to have it like more bezel, soft, kind of looking, smoother effect, you know. Kind of a little bit more natural curve if you want it. It's a lot of ways we can modify. You can make harder or play a little bit more with this. So let's go like this. There you go. And see, we created kind of nice needly things with this. Okay, let's go click OK. So in this way we can modify. Also we have it like trapezium, and we work with trapezium a little bit later. I'll show what it can do. But this will work on one of the segment. But this does not look like a grass blade. Yes, it's a round, and if we look, it just look like literally like a needle. So let's add blades to this. And for this you can see we have a blade call area. So let's check to enable, and look, now we have a blade spread all over. In this area we can modify on the thickness, blades, how the distribution, how they're going. Right now we have it only blade going in one area. If you want it for the future, for example, if you can play 3, notice now we have 3 blades. You can create a very cool effect this way. But of course for us, all what we needed is just one plane, one blade. We have it our start and end. For the grass, I want just start from lower point. But if you create a leaf, you can take the start, put it up, and you can see how it's increasing. So you can actually change area. So we can create very beautiful leaf this way. Next, let's go see on a spread width. And this one is in degrees, so we kind of leave it on 360, and we don't touch. Blade width, will help us to create a blade we wanted. So I'll just bring around here, and you know what? We can also taper a little bit on the top. Remember the graphs. Again, we don't need to use it inheritance, so we'll just use it one directly here. And if we go bring this way, you can see how it's a little bit tapering. And you know what? I like when on the bottom also do this way. So we'll go click, and we'll just bring a little bit like this to the bottom. So we have it kind of a little bit look more like a real grass blade going. And we can play around, switch to this little bit more smoother effect, okay, like right there. So it's look a little bit more as aggressive. Okay, the next things we also have it all properties. We can have it the bend little bit, unbend, but I think we're okay for now. Maybe later we'll do this. Well, it's look okay. We have this only very thick things on the middle, And of course, we can go back to our radius. You remember when we did here, and we can reduce this radius a little bit, like this. Actually, no, it's 0.5. Let's go 0.05. I think we'll leave it like this here, and on this one, we'll just leave it 0. Or we can just type 0 for now and totally remove. Well, the blade is kind of here. You know what? Let's maybe increase a little bit width. We'll see. Okay, yeah, well, a little bit bigger weight, like this maybe. Ooh, it's a too wide. Let's go 2.19. I think this one is kind of look cool. Top one is definitely will need a change. We need to bring the top down, leave it more sharpy, kind of pointy, and we can also a little bit bend in a side. And for this, we can work with the or profile change. And notice if we do profile, we can also just click middle, and we can just change a little bit profile for this. Okay, or we also can work with the other properties, but I think we can start working when we add this. Okay, so we have this one stem, or one blade kind of sticking out. Let's create a patch of the grass out of this. And for this, we'll need to add some distribution. So I kind of like to use, for example, Hydra for this, and we'll go create Hydra here. Let's disconnect, and we'll connect to the wrong place. And if we take to the Hydra and connect to the root, what Hydra does, it's creating kind of like distribution by this circle. So currently we don't see anything, but if we take and connect our blade to output, you can see now we have them around. And because they're laying kind of around, we don't necessarily, we can bring them up. But you know what, I'm looking on this and I'm thinking, if we even put it like this, it will just make circle, does not look nice. What if we can stack? What if we're going to take here, we'll create another Hydra, and now we'll take Hydra, connect to the Hydra, and connect to the blades. Whoa, look what we have now. That is a little bit better. Of course, they're all floating. We'll need to rework on this a little bit, but they're here. Okay, to rework on this, let's work with our Hydras. And the reason is because our Hydras, they're actually going like this circular. So we need to rotate them, put it a little bit in a flat area. And for this, we can work with the angles. So see, if we work with the angles, we can also just take and put them flat down. Now they're all flat. So it's meaning all of this. Just imagine if you have it one circle, yes, and you have it other circles around, they will go like this. And now we'll just rotate them and put all flat this way. Now we can take inside this Hydra and modify our blades and bring them up. Look what we did. We created this teeny tiny patch. Of course, they spread too much, and we can work on a radius. We can take our radius and bring a little bit closer, and you can see how they're coming a little bit closer in this area. Same, we can take another, and same, bring radius a little bit closer. So now it's look a little bit better. The other things what I don't kind of like it, they look exactly the same. For this, let's go on a radius, and one we'll put it 0.2. And because we apply to one radius, you'll notice it is random, will apply to all of them. And let's go on this one as well. On a radius, we'll put 0.2. As well, let's rotate a little bit angles, just add something cool to this. So in our second Hydra, which going to directly connect to our stems, we're going and maybe modify a little bit on an angle. So right here was angle, let's type 0.5. It's about 5 degrees actually. Yeah, let's go with 5 degrees. Okay, so we'll put it 5 degrees, and you can see it's add. We can see it is changed a little bit of rotation on this, and we can also do 5 degrees on this. Just change kind of a little bit, and this is already look a little bit better. Okay, now let's go back to our blade, and we did as a test for this blade, yes, but we want to work a little bit better apply to this. One, let's go to inherit, switch from this, and woo, look how big it is inherit, because we did not change our radius very good, yes, so we need to modify how it will attach to our radius. And for this, let's see what we have. We have here inherit, yes, we have it user define, we have it also inherit to the radius. That's a little bit better because we changed radius in once, but those things still a little bit too thick, so we'll go to minimum radius and just reduce, because I still want to have it just small things in the middle. Okay, now on minimum radius we can go and also reduce the top, so it's kind of have a little bit blade. I think this way it's look a little bit more interesting, and it's kind of have this things on the middle. I think it's add a little bit more natural look to our grass. At least it's your fantasy grass, you can create whatever you want it. Now let's look on the tropism, and it's what's happened if we go one way. You can see it is can or fall out like this, look how the band is, or they can go a little bit more. Okay, where are you? Right here. Or they can go up. And we can kind of play with this. What I want to do, it is actually go a little bit straight from the ground. Okay, so we go a little bit up. But I want after them a little bit more bend. And for this, we'll go use again our filters. So if we apply our filters to the 0, they'll go straight. But if we go down below to minus, they will affect a little bit our different. Okay. Let me check right here. We have it. I think it's about straight like right here. Yes. Okay. So let's go see if we apply it. And there's not, well, let's change a little bit. Let's go opposite. Let's go like this. Okay. And next we go up, and let's see if we change here. You can see how it start growing. So like this, I think, maybe. Yeah, I think this one. So on the bottom you can see we modify. Of course we can take all, but I think top one should go higher and bottom a little bit stick out of ground. I think this look a little bit more interesting. Okay, let's click OK. And again, almost any time we'll just want to add randomness to this, so it will create different effect. We also, you know what, because it's 5, we can add like 3, and this way we have it way messy. Well, so far what we did, we work with trapezium to make like band kind of out. We change our inherited radio, and we can also change this. I don't know, it's a stem middle, so let's keep it same. I don't want to have too much variation on this. We have a radius here set to 0. I think this is okay. Link, we modify this. Minimum link, we'll just leave it as default. We also have it our blade width, and blade width we can put it like 0.05, so it also will give it us different blade length. Actually, you know what, let's go 0.1. So I think this one will have it some width and some very skinny, and you can see they kind of, yeah, they look a little bit different. Okay, I think that way we have it more randomness. I don't know, it's still a little bit thick. What do you think? So let's go for 0.5. So we have a modification, but not too much. I think this work a little bit better. Okay, also if we go back to hider, and you notice right here we have a number of how many instances will go from those points. So if it's create one circle, we'll have 12 blades around. So right there, let's go change as well. We'll just add 4. So it can be plus minus 4. And here, same. Let's go say about, oops, wrong window, right here, 4. And this one, plus and minus, utilize when you can, because it is creating this randomness. It will create different type for the species to create. Okay, I think that is almost all what we need to do for this patch. And you know what's nice about this patch? It's very cool if you add like in a swamp or somewhere. Of course, we can play a little bit more in the future. We can add like maybe bending on the leaves, and those ones you can do when you go inside the blade, and you can start kind of playing here, you know, with the different types of the variety, for example, with these. And usually it is will be on the section. So if we go on a section, and notice what I'm doing, see how I'm changing, and it's changed a little bit shape, a little bit too much on this section. Let's go right here just around. See how it's now sections is changed. You have it kind of bending going around. But what I want to do, actually, I want to go in the middle and just add a little bit like here. So, and as we're changing, it's changed a little bit, give it more, I think, dimension to our leaf, like right here. So it's look a little bit more interesting, bending. It's just this kind of dimensions give it, but generally you can go ahead and play around with some of the settings. They will modify shape of the blade, and the best way to learn and put hands-on when you start creating. Look at this. It's very simple what we've done so far. We did 2 hiders, a distribution for our blades, and we're using one blade. Let's go call it blade so I remember this. And we call blade to change. You know what else I like to do? I like change the colors on them. And when you select node, you can go down and select on a color and select which one color you want. It does absolutely nothing for the functionality, but it does help sometimes look and distinguish which node. For example, when I work like with a tree, I may have a trunk with one color, branch another ones, and leaves with thirst. In this case, when I can look on a very complex node system, you can very fast identify, okay, those are leaves, and those is branches, and some other mechanics. Well, this is kind of very simple one. One thing what we need to do next, it is add some coloring to this, because if we look at this point, we can render, and let's right click, and we'll just render to about this resolution, final on screen, so we're all good. Okay, where's my render? I lost again, right here, there you go. And if we pre-render this, you can see here's our grass, but it does not, it's missing some texture, so we need to put a texture in. Also, see right here we have a dark, it's where the polygons start crossing, so we want to fix this. We want to remove actually some of that. And because these ones look like maybe problems. Well, we'll find later when we start doing. Right now, when we select the blades here, we'll go in materials, double time click. This is our material editor, and we'll just we'll go with the colors. So we'll go with the, where do we have it? Let's go with procedure colors, but we work with a color map. So we'll go double time click, open our color map, and I'm just selecting one. You can see like a green. If you want it, we can go edit color map, and we can select some specific color, maybe going to darker kind of around here. Click OK. And we'll just bring a little bit. There you go. So kind of you can play a little bit more with colors. You also can modify and just select image, or you can create other things. I think for this look good. Other interesting things with color, you can actually modify this, because if we look on inside our blades and we click on materials, you'll notice with materials we have it way more. We can actually modify this material, and we can change it based on the edge or season or other things, so we can totally customize. But how I say, it will be for the future. Just let you know, you have it quite a bit to work with materials, so you don't just constrain to this material. We can go and modify a lot of materials. And you know, I think we'll just let's go ahead and stuck with this. I think this is good for now. We can go again, just click and render, see how it will look with the new material that we applied, and it's already look a little bit better. Also, when you create something, keep in mind how big or small it can be and where it will be located, because if you create something closer, you maybe want to create a very good texture, everything. But if it's something far away and it will be covered, so sometimes the simplest one will work faster and easy to create. Okay, I think this is look good for this. And next, what we want to do, we're going File, and we're going to export, and you want to export as a species. And I'll just click OK. Select pathway you want it. You come to this pre-render, wait till it's all the way render, and just click OK. So that is done. Let's go now open View. And here we inside the view, I have some small terrain kind of open. And I want to just populate this terrain with our grass, what we just created. Actually, you know what, before I preload it, let's just load it one instance of the grass, and we can compare our grass. So for this, we have a terrain here, and I'm just going to hide this terrain all the way so we don't even see it or render for now. And we'll go click on a plant. Be sure you right click to open species, navigate to the place where you did, and just save your grass. So if you notice right here, I have one patch of grass. Now I can just click and it will preload it second, click, preload it third, and we'll just take our main camera and we'll just bring closer and look down. And you can already see, because we did all these randomizations, yes, all that cool stuff, they all look kind of different, same and different. You see the actually different position of the blades and everything. This is what cool about when you create in Plant Factory, because all these options, all these variations, you added the wheel effect. Well, okay, we preview this. That's what I want to validate if they're all. Now we can go back to our terrain. Let's re-enable our terrain. Next, we're going to select our terrain, and we're going to double time click, open materials. We'll go add new layer, convert this layer to the ecosystem and particles. In the general, we'll go click add item, add plant, and because we're already kind of done, just click and preload our plant. Because it's telling us the Plant Factory, it's have a lot of polygons. Right here we have it. And let's just click populate. Notice as we're populating, it's take and populate all our grass on the scenery. What do we want to also, we maybe want to go and change a little bit this color to match slightly our background, like this. Okay, next we'll take our camera and just hover over terrain that we just created. Look what we have. We have all of this grass already done. And this is a very fast, just we done very fast to create this grass that we can easy using in our terrain, in our scenery on mountains. It's very low also polygons. To the point I'm just going to even increase density so they will just cover everywhere here. Well, look how much, it's just all grass cover. Let's go click OK. Preview on the render, final HD resolution, so we'll look on this very good. And I'm just going to click render and preview. And there you go, we have our field full of the grass. And we just spent what? With about 20 minutes something to create all of this. Actually, what I like about Vue, look on this, it's a 3 billion polygons and it just handle very nice. I love these applications, work very good. Well, here we create our first project, and of course in the next one we go work more with the Plant Factory. We're going more in a depth with some functionality in creating much more sophisticated and more realistic plants. So be sure you check my other videos if you want increase your skills in this. Thank you for watching and have a great day.